Morning, Fred Marple here. Fridays with Fred, my regular show, semi-regular except for last week when Facebook was kind of messed up and I had to do it as a post thing, you know. But anyway, happy to be with you here this morning. It's kind of a gray day out there. It feels like November, don't it? You know, the leaves are mostly off the trees and the world just seems to be kind of waiting for the holidays, you know. Of course, everybody's talking about the election coming up here, and you know, according to my local, I've just been doing a little poll lately, and I have to say that Lester Two Weevils is still leading in the polls. I've done a little bit of, here's my little survey here. You can see that the two main contenders are still pretty much neck and neck, but this person, Lester Two Weevils, is way ahead of either one of them. So, for whatever that's worth. I have no idea what Lester Two Weevils stands for, but that's what a lot of people say they're voting for. Let's see. You know, when it comes to the election, folks, I just got to say, don't panic, all right? Please relax. The day after, the world will still go on. If you are a praying person, I highly recommend prayer. If you are not, an adult beverage sometimes works. Sometimes. See some folks tuning in. Good morning. Janet, Barbara, Alicia, Earl. Good to see you all. A reminder, the special still going on at the Frosty's House of Pizza. Walter advertises it as having 3 kinds of meat, all the vegetables, extra cheese, special sauce on a homemade crust at a bargain price. When you get it, it's just a thin crust with some sauce on top, and he calls it the Campaign Promise Pizza. He's selling a lot of those. Yes, sir. Let's see. You know, I once again, as you probably know, I am doing my duty to God and country by not running for office, so do not vote for me, no matter how much you may be tempted. But I do have some ideas for our newly elected officials, whomever they may be, especially on the statewide level. Here's my first idea. You know, whenever we have financial problems in our state, some genius up to Concord thinks that the way to solve it is with gambling, casinos. Folks, if you think a casino is a way to make money, you have not got the common sense that God gave to rhubarb, folks. But if they are so all fired up about gambling, then I think they should do it the way we do it in Frosty's, which is bingo. But we would do it in a way, borrowing a page from the healthcare playbook, we would make everybody would have to play. That's right, universal mandatory bingo. Just an idea. I think that's worth exploring, folks. Another idea I have, this comes from my friend Herb Cullen. He runs the farm stand out on the highway there. And he was saying, you know how they give subsidies to farmers not to grow things? I think this is a great idea, you know, getting paid not to do something. I would love to do that myself. Except that I'm already not doing anything. So I can't get paid to stop, you know. But anyway, here's my idea. I think we should pay politicians not to run for office. Like a subsidy, you know, like farmers get. Pay politicians not to run for office. I think we'd save money in the long run, don't you? Yeah. Finally, I'm concerned about border security, folks. You know, up north, we've got a 58-mile-long border with Canada. And do you know how many checkpoints there are on that border? One. One checkpoint. Now, here's my question. What is going to stop a Canadian moose from crossing over the border and taking work away from our American moose? Or mooses? Or meese? Goose, geese, moose, meese, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying, folks? And here's another thing. What if a Canadian moose is pregnant and she crosses the border and drops her calf on this side. Does that make it an American moose? I don't have a solution to these problems, folks. I just raise the issue. I think it's worth thinking about, you know. We got to be aware of that kind of crime. Well, speaking of crime, it's time for the police report, our favorite part of the local paper. Barbara chimes in. She says, "You've got my vote, Fred." Well, thank you, Barbara. Don't do it. All right, time for the police report now. Actual items from our local paper. I do not make these things, folks, up. That's my thing. You know, you can't make this stuff up. All right? From the police report, let's see what we got today. Arrests, motor vehicle complaints. Here's one. Lost hiker. At 12:56 p.m., a lost hiker arrived at the police station. The hiker, who said he was not from New Hampshire, started hiking from Ware. He said he was on the trail for 3 hours before he arrived at the police department. Police transported the man back to Route 149 in Ware. You got to imagine this visit at the police department. They say to him, "Where did you come from?" "Where." "That's right, Where. I told you." It's who's on first all over again, folks. 3 hours before he turned himself. Juvenile complaint. At 5:15 p.m., 2 juveniles were seen throwing apples near the bridge at Grove Street. They were told to stop, and their parents were spoken to about it. You know, folks, if apples are outlawed, only outlaws will have apples. That's what I say. Throwing apples. Crime runs rampant once again in the area. Here's another one that says, advice. At 7:57 p.m., an old Jaffrey Road resident reported there was a live bat in his sink and he needed an officer's help. He was advised to put on a glove, reach into the sink, and remove the bat. People will call the police for anything. My goodness. What else we got here? Arrest, welfare check, arrest. Animal control complaint. At 9:20 a.m., police were informed by a Benny Hill Road resident that a black dog with a bandana was staying around his house and sleeping on his porch. The dog is not aggressive, but will not let anyone get close to it. Not aggressive, but will not let anyone get close to it. Sounds like half the men in New Hampshire. Suspicious activity, some noise complaints here. Let's see. Another suspicious activity. At 9:31 a.m., police checked Todd Road for suspicious activity following an anonymous call. Nothing was found. Well, I'm glad that got cleared up. Suspicious activity, anonymous call, nothing was found. Well, good. Suspected burglary. At 5:23 p.m., police were notified by a Fox Farm Road resident that he believed his house had been broken into and a large sum of cash taken. After police took the initial report, the resident reported that he had found the money and it had just been misplaced. Another crime solved by our stellar police force. They could call off the, CSI on that one, apparently. Let's see here. Welfare check. Police responded to a Samantha's Way resident to check the welfare of a resident who a friend had not heard from in months and was unable to leave a message for. Police did not locate the person, but found that the lawn was mowed and plants taken care of, indicating someone had been taking care of the residents in recent days. I wonder if that person would come to my house. If you don't hear from me, folks, you are welcome to come and mow my lawn and take care of my plants. I'm just saying. Well, that's probably enough of the police report for today, folks. And let's see. Oh, big news last night in another blow to culture in the state of New Hampshire. my book, Welcome to Frosties, was awarded the Reader's Choice Award for Outstanding Work of Fiction. Now, this was up against actual books by writers with actual talent, folks. You know, it just goes to show that those old-fashioned virtues like hard work, determination, and stuffing the ballot box still pay off. So thank you very much for everybody who took part in this travesty on culture in New Hampshire. That's my book, Welcome to Frosties, which you could get at your local bookstore. If you're in Peterborough, the Toadstool has it. Or online. You can find it everywhere. Welcome to Frosties, folks. That's my book. Thank you to everybody who voted for me. And let's see. Finally, folks, don't forget, it is daylight savings time comes to an end this Sunday night, so don't forget to turn your clocks back. We will not be turning the clocks back in Frosties. We always spring forward in the spring, but we do not turn our clocks back. We're trying to catch up with the rest of the world, folks. We are up to, I think, 1987 now. And every year we catch up a little bit more. So we will not. But everybody else, remember to turn your clocks back this Sunday night. Well, folks, it's always lovely to be here. Remember, you can catch this show later on. If you missed any of the subtle nuances of my stories, you can watch this again later on. We've got a page now called Fridays with Fred, and all of the old shows are posted there in chronological order, from nonsense to more nonsense to even more nonsense. So tune in there. You can check that out. Thanks so much, folks. Always good to be with you. Send mail, write if you get work, as they say. My name is Fred Marple, and you know what they say, you can't get there from here.